I'm documenting a story from home today. No chance for fishing the next couple of days, but that's fine the next time. It's interesting at work and whether you're meeting people or anytime a relationship is started, professional, personal, whatever, there really is two times, as I've noticed, where you make an impression is when you start, when you first come in, and when you leave. And personally, I just want to share a story about something I've noticed in the last couple of days that happened directly in my professional sphere. And this has to do with when an employee is leaving, but leaving under the circumstances of I've been sick of this, I'm done with this, and I've been sick of it for years. And unfortunately, in our professional life, you have nobody to blame but yourself if you end up in a professional situation where you've been sick of it for years and you stay for years. And even if you did do end up doing something positive for the company, which this person ultimately did who just recently left, the tone of when you leave sends so much. And honestly, I would have had no problem writing this person a letter of recommendation if they were to reach out to me now that they've been a month since they've been gone. But the way that they left in such a vindictive and spiteful way, angry at me when I had nothing to do with the situation. So the situation is as follows. We had somebody leave and the person had certain tasks that they should have finished to handle a smooth transition for the next employee. So here I am on my end now that they are gone and clearly have, I'll get to that part, but at this point today, they've made it clear, don't contact me at all. I have nothing to do with this company anymore. I don't want anything to do with this company anymore. And I understand. I'm not asking them to write a report for me. I'm asking simple yes or no questions, or what's the access details to this, which should have been documented already in the first place, but weren't. And I'm asking questions that should have already been handled during the 2 weeks of when their notice was initially disclosed, the 2 weeks notice. And it's just sad because I personally trained this person and they stuck around in the company for about 5 years, and I really thought I had done my part. And well, I take that back. I had really done my part to make this person a helpful admin, and they really were. But about around 2 years ago, I'm starting to hear from them that I'm crying about, oh, I've been asking for a raise and promised a raise, and I haven't been getting it. And I coached them through that. Offer them support, emotional and professional, about how to go about documenting to the owner that such and such is, I'm worth such and such, I'm working for da da da, and even just instead of leaving in a fit where you just throw the papers, F it, get some job offers. Get something on papers like, listen, I don't want to leave over money, but I have an offer from such and such that I could take tomorrow and I could put in my 2 weeks here and be done with it. But those fell on deaf ears, unfortunately. And the situation today is that if this person reached out to me for a letter of recommendation, I would not be so sure that I would write one for them. Part of me says, hey, you know what? Was I perfect in every single career I was in or every single job I was in? No, but and I would hope for mercy in those situations where, hey, you could help me, a past employer could help me do this regardless of what was going on. Just help me out. You know, we already went our separate ways, but help me out. And maybe I would write this person a letter of recommendation. But the fact is that when they left such a bad taste in my mouth because having not done what they should have done for the 2 weeks of the transition, which I now became aware of once they were gone and I overtook their work, realized, what were they thinking with this? What were they thinking with this? Why is this like this? This is just making so much work so disorganized. You've been here for 5 years and you couldn't figure out a different way to do this. So on my end, that's not the problem. But what the problem ultimately is that when I reach out as a friend, hey, listen, I've been looking for such and such, for example, an access code. Can you tell me what the code is to the building? Because for some reason, it's not written in plain sight for the next person to obviously see. For some reason, that's not there. And then I wait 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks later, finally the message comes in. I mean this in the nicest way possible. I am not associated with the company, and I don't even want to be associated with the company, which I get. And what really just put the cherry on the top was when is using my own words against me. Anytime I've trained somebody, and when I believe it, whether you're training a child, whether you're training anybody, when you're trying to develop somebody, you don't do for them what they could do on their own. Of course, you guide them in the right direction, but at some point, sometimes you need to say, figure it out. You're asking me questions that are obviously in front of you, that if you took the time to just read, look through the whole screen, scroll from top to bottom, you're going to see, how do I create a new transaction? And they're asking me this, how do I create a new transaction? Well, did you log into the transaction screen to do this? And then yeah, but I don't see where to do it. I'm like, you need to figure it out because it's right in front of you, and I'm not going to walk your hand through every little thing. And this is whether it's children, this is what I'm going to do with my kids, and this is what I think you do to create a good person. So basically, my motto was, I know the answer is right in front of you. Please figure it out. And the context behind my messaging you back, figure it out, is you're going to laugh when you realize how simple it is because it's right in front of you. At this point, I please ask you to figure it out because it's right in front of you. Not to figure it out because, oh, I'm mad at you or I am too busy. Never of that. So I asked this person to follow up with on a couple small things. Simple yes or no questions. One word answers would have been a savior for me. But at the end, they finally get the desire to get back to me after I've been reaching out to them for 2 weeks. Hey, what about this? Is this the case with this? Yes or no? What's the access code for this? Simple numbers. Numbers, one word questions. Finally, this person reached back to me and say, listen, I have nothing to do with the company. I don't want to. And you know what? The person who trained me, myself, always said, hey, figure it out. And now, I know you can figure it out. What's disappointing about that is that this person who's telling me to figure it out, which I believe in. If I can do it, I will. I wouldn't have reached out to them and sent them these messages to follow up on things about what the current situation about the transition from new admin to the old admin. I wouldn't be asking them these things if it was in front of me. You go through the emails, you go through the spreadsheets, you go through looking for this simple bit of information that for some reason wasn't somewhere for 5 years, and I wasn't managing it for 4 out of those 5. And things have changed over time. Even, let's say, these access codes I had at one time 5 years ago, but it's changed since then. It's changed since then, and those need to be updated, but they weren't. And I'm doing my due diligence to go through emails, go through spreadsheets, find these things, and they're not there. So I've already done my homework and trying to just reach out as a favor to this person. Can you please tell me if this is the case? Because for some reason it's not documented anywhere. And their response to me is to twist my own words against me. And, a wise man once told me to figure it out. I told you at that time and all those other times to figure it out as a way to help you exhaust the options that are in front of you. I know the solution is right in front of you. You're just not looking hard enough. You're asking me questions about how to do such and such without even trying it yourself. This is the same thing if my wife comes through the door, and she doesn't do this, but if my wife were to come through the door and she's standing right in front of the refrigerator and asking me, hey, I'm going to go to the store. Do we need milk? The refrigerator is right in front of you. Please open it because it's right there. And it's the principle of the fact that, yes, maybe I know that we have 2 gallons of milk. Maybe I know we have half a gallon of milk, but the thing is right there. Are you gonna call me when I'm out fishing or something to say, "Hey, I can't find the scissors," and let's say I had just washed them and I put them somewhere. I put them in the cabinet instead of opening the cabinet and looking. Call me immediately. That's not the way that you develop someone to be self-sufficient, whether at home or a child or your or anything, or professional situation. So my attitude at the time was, hey, the answer is right in front of you. Just figure it out. I know you can find it because it's right in front of you. All the answers are there. But as I reach out to this person to ask them something that I've already done my research to try to figure it out, unfortunately they turned it around on me. Just to, okay, figure it out. And basically, instead of just saying, hey, I don't want to help you, I don't want to help the company, I'm done with all of it, I'm done with everything. And even though the problem they ultimately had was with the company and the compensation, taking it out on me when I'm coming as a favor, tell me to, okay, go figure it out. Listen, obviously, I'm not saying if you're a boss who treated you poorly, which wasn't the case here. This was a matter of not asserting yourself in the proper way. Anybody who's easy to put to the side, they get put to the side. What? You need to learn to assert yourself. And this was the problem with this person. How many times they reached out to me, hey, what should I do with this and this? And I'm like, did you ask our who did you ask the manager above us about this? Like, well, no. I'm like, then why are you asking me? They are the ultimate decision maker of whether this package is going to go to Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Why are you asking me where I think it should go? Ask them, the manager, is this going to go to Pennsylvania or New Jersey? Why are you asking me? So this was just a constant this was a constant cycle of just lack of confidence, lack of assertion. So it's just sad that I am coming to this person as somebody who I was honestly friendly, really, really friendly with, and I would be happy to help professionally. So ultimately, the other day, I get the message that after 2 weeks of nothing, I would rather just say, like, listen, stop contacting me. But what really just kind of twisted my ear a little bit was the fact using my own words against me, my own figure it out in terms of the answer is in front of you and I'm doing this to help you, versus their figure it out to me saying, basically, go after yourself. You figure it out. It's disappointing, and unfortunately, that attitude never will get you anywhere. And honestly, really, I've even walked out of jobs with an actual F you. Granted, that wasn't a professional situation. It was a restaurant situation, which would be a funny story to tell at a different time. The time I worked at a restaurant for 2 weeks. So yeah, I've walked out like that. Oh, okay, let me give me my check right now. And they said, oh, thank you for nothing. And I'm like, yeah, F you too. And I just walked out. I went to go cash my check immediately in case this lady wanted to act up and cancel it on me. But this goes back to the main point. I had all the respect in the world for this person, and they did a good job managing realistically a lot of things at this point. But after all those years of being helpful, just this one attitude, this kind of attitude at the end, in one instance, was enough just to be like, everybody's true colors comes out at some point. Everybody's true colors comes out at some point, and I wish this person the best, and I am just saying this so hopefully on some level I'm doing this also to remind myself down the future. It's okay to be upset, but be upset at the right people. But it's also, you know what, it's not okay? It's not okay to refuse being helpful if it just takes 2 seconds. I could have somebody reach out to me from 5 years ago. I'm like, hey, can you look through my resume for me? Maybe polish and tell me what you think? That's going to take me 5 minutes. I could do that. I don't care if it's the kid that I fought in freshman year of high school, an ex-girlfriend. I don't care. Send it to me. I don't care. Why am I going to let feelings get in the way of being helpful? I was listening to a spiritual message from Pastor Joel Osteen. And whatever, however, but the message, it's all about the message. Forget the messenger. It's the message. Does the message help you or does it not help you? Regardless of the messenger, what he said, I really like him personally. What he said is promotion comes from God, it does not come from people. And this single this single sentence, I'm telling you, has changed my life. If there's an opportunity that within reason that I can be helpful to somebody, I absolutely do it. I mean, let's say I'm in the middle of work and my mother-in-law needs a piece some bread. I could take a 5-minute break to go bring some bread over there and go to the store, bring her some bread or whatever. But if it takes 2 hours, I need the bread from the top of the mountain on a working day, I'm not going to do that. But helping within reason, obviously, regardless of who it is, but offering your help to whoever it is when it makes sense and when you're able to do it, prepares things in your life that are going to work out for the better. People will help you in your life. I don't keep score of, I did this, and this for this person. When are they going to help me? If I did anything for anybody, I was happy to do it, and it's over. I can't even think of examples because it just slips my mind because it's out of my mind in 2 seconds, But it always in the back of my head when I do offer my help is like, hey, I'm doing my best to help somebody else. I get this back tenfold from my Heavenly Father. And promotion comes from God. It doesn't come from people. To me, that means help people however you can, be helpful, and just know that the effort that you offer to the world is going to come back to you 10x, 100x. I'm not looking for, I did this for my boss, I need a raise from her. My promotion comes from God. I'm happy to help, but obviously you need to advocate for yourself. This is ultimately what created this entire situation. This person could have and probably should have been making more money, but failed to communicate, failed to follow up, failed to advocate. I don't want to rub it in anybody's nose if they're in that situation right now, but there's times where either ask again. What's the worst they're going to say? No, fire you? They're not going to fire you just because you asked for something more, but you need to come with a compelling argument as I'm doing such and such and such and such. And if it really comes down push to shove, you need to come, hey, I got this folder of offers. You need to go home and work even doubly hard to schedule some interviews, get some job offers and something. Be like, listen, I'll leave this company. I have something lined up in 2 weeks. And hopefully you can do more tactful than that, but it comes down to you need to advocate for yourself, because if you're not advocating for yourself, when you know that there's something there's an opportunity to grow into a certain direction or gain some more, in this case, money from your job based on you doing more, then that needs to be done. It absolutely needs to be done. And if it gets to the point where all you can do is just throw your arms in the air and just say, F it, I'm out of here. And then truthfully do a really bad job on what should have been set up during the 2 weeks transition. So basically just collecting a paycheck for 2 weeks and not facilitating that the transition to the next admin is going to be as smooth as possible. You're only hurting yourself. And so I don't expect, I honestly hope that I learn from these lessons myself. I'm not saying this to preach to you, but I'm saying this to look back in the mind like, I remember on February 11th, 2026, when I was in my early 30s, how I thought at that time. Am I better now? Am I better or worse? Did my attitude of did my mentality of promotion comes from God, not from people, pay off for me? I'm sure it's going to pay off in a year. It pays off every single day. Every single day it pays off. Everything I have around me, the fact that I even have a remote position that I can do from here in Tbilisi, Georgia, while I wait for certain things and and be here with my wife. And if I didn't have this hand of favor on my life, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be married to my wife. I wouldn't be in Georgia growing my American appreciation and my patriotism. Because I'll tell you what, this also goes into a whole other thing, which is another video. I am proud to be an American, and once you live outside of America for any significant period of time, not 3 months, not even 6 months, a year or more. If you've been outside America for a year or more, regardless if you're from a small little town or something, you tend to remember what it's like back home and compare everything to the US, because the US is, I don't see anybody else breaking down the doors for every single country if breaking down the doors to try to get in anywhere else other than the US. So that's a whole different conversation. I just want to leave myself and you with the message of promotion comes from God, not from people. Be as helpful as you can, it within reason. Don't take your anger out on others. It's a horrible thing, and there's two impressions that you make in any relationship: is when you enter and when you exit. Because at some point, nothing lasts forever. Our life isn't last forever. Nothing lasts forever. At some point, there's going to be an entrance and an exit. So my advice to you and my advice to myself: look back in 5 years and tell me that if your attitude of helping others, regardless of your responsibility, but your ability, did that not take you where you are? Are you not happier because of this? And I guarantee you, I'm glad my apartment is in the background. In 10 years, I can't wait to see what it looks like. In 5 years, I can't wait to see what's in the background. The beach, the boat, who knows? I have my ideas of what I want, but this is what this is about. That's it. Take care. From good to great, my name is Ferenc.